July 13th, 2009. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, episode 71.
Now with Hikikomoris.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go!
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I am one of your hosts, Murdock.
I don't really want to be a host. It sounds like it has responsibilities.
Better than a concierge.
I don't want to be a host because, man, parasites are nasty.
Yeah, head crabs, Head and Shoulders just doesn't get them off anymore.
We demand new titles.
That was the second time you got the crabs.
Uh-huh.
News facilitators.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not really news, so...
Yeah, that's still
Can we
too
use, like,
structurally
Advanced
organized.
news substitute.
Can we use
Awesome.
like Daily Show monikers, like, you know, head shooter specialist or something like that?
No.
Okay. Well, I have.
Raiders of the Chaos.
Wow. Isn't that the new expansion for Warcraft?
Speaking of crabs, I was watching something on VH1 Classic a couple nights ago, and there was one of the guys from Rat, and he said that their tour bus was so infested with crabs they actually had to fumigate it.
Thank you for listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio.
It was
As
so
always, you
infested
can listen.
you could see food.
Yeah.
Anyway, with me is John, Brian, and Steve. Three of the most interesting guys here.
Well, okay.
Well, that works by default.
Nice qualification. Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So
You're
do we?
not a liar.
So do we have anything to share before we start with the news?
No.
To share?
Yes.
No advanced medical conditions ongoing over here.
Nope.
Okay.
No Sunny, no Cher. Just fake news.
Yeah, I don't think there's even new MJ trivia to throw in. So.
No.
Oh, well, actually, we'll get to it a little later.
Oh, no.
All right. So first up, Asteroids movie in the works. I think it's called Armageddon.
Yeah.
Is it live action?
Yes.
It's one man on a quest to beat an arcade game.
It's going to
In
take
black and white.
It's going to take a Beowulf cluster to make the triangle spaceship.
Is it made entirely out of line segments?
If it was, in fact, Vector, that'd be pretty awesome. I would go and see it.
Yeah,
Difficult.
you can also see it on the planetarium.
Yeah, go see the Laser Light Show. It's
Yeah.
about as good.
Pink Floyd rules.
All right. So nothing on this.
Well, we don't have any actual news about it, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
who's producing
it's even less
directing,
newsworthy
or-
than most of the stuff we usually.
Well, I think Kotaku had like a little posting of part of the script on it. I don't know if it was real or not.
I'm sure it's
It was pretty
just
fucking
as real
funny.
as the original script for Aliens 3.
Yeah. So next up, prizes coming to 1 vs. 100 live beta, and I know that John, you've been playing this. Yes? No.
Meredith has
His,
been.
his household has.
This is one of the folks that's playing against Gabe, apparently.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we were in that game because there was definitely one person there that whenever they got one right, we all cheered for them because they needed the help.
So on Friday, July 10th, Xbox Live Gold members will have the chance to win up to 10,000 Microsoft points and a new Xbox Live arcade title in every round played on 1 vs. 100 Live. I don't know
pretty cool.
I don't know what you do with 10,000 Microsoft points.
You spend them in a weekend? It's not that many.
Is there really that much stuff to buy on Xbox?
I could get
One?
every rock band song I'm missing. Yeah.
Would you have any change left over?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Well, it's
about
1,600 points for a whole album, so...
That. Well,
there's
I
only
guess the
that's-
question is how many of them are you missing? Because I'm pretty sure that's a reasonable amount to buy all of them. and
Well-
possibly a bit short.
Well, maybe it might be a little bit short, but most of them come in chunks, so you can get a chunk for less than the individual song. So I can still probably get almost everything I want. Put it that way. I'm obviously not going to buy every song because not every song is worth it, but all the ones I'm missing, definitely I could get with 10,000 points.
That's got to be one of those great internet trivia questions. How much would it cost to buy everything they put out for Rock Band at this point?
Now I'm just kind of wondering.
Because I know for a
They
fact
must do that so that they encourage you to, or the bands must do that in order to encourage you to give you the royalty rates if you buy more than one, something like that.
Okay.
bulk discounts.
Yeah, bulk discount.
So are you still planning on playing through? Well, I guess if Meredith is still planning, she's planning to play through the 1 versus 100.
I don't think she's aware of the current upcoming prizes.
Yeah.
She's just
not really
playing for the
important
game.
information in her life. So.
Okay. All right. Is anyone else here playing that game?
No.
No, I play real games,
Mm.
so yeah,
I watched it on TV, though.
It's not an entertaining show.
I can't watch it either.
It depends. Kind of depends as who's up in the 100, because that kind of makes the show fun.
It's kind of like watching
Kinda.
Deal or No Deal.
No,
Yeah.
there's actual information in 1 versus 100.
That's
Trivia
true.
games that you might know the
That's
answer
Yeah,
to.
but 1 versus 100 doesn't have 26 hot models coming over the stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
my
the game isn't pick a case. Okay. Done.
Yeah.
We're going to draw it out a bit, but that's the game.
All right.
that's just they're more a vehicle for commercials.
When's that
than
coming out on
most
Xbox
computers
Live
are.
Arcade?
Most TV shows are. It's like, how can we find a show format that's actually almost entirely bereft of any production costs and allows us to put in as many commercials as possible? Oh, I got a game show idea. So that's pretty much what it is.
And I think that game show isn't original. I think it came over from like Britain or something.
Well, until like 10 years ago, they only had 3 channels.
Well,
So
that's
captive
true.
audience.
All right. So next up, LucasArts to re-release old games to Steam, but I think this has already happened. Yes? No?
No, not yet.
No.
Soon. In
Well,
fact, I
they're-
just saw it in Kotaku today. I think they announced the first couple of games they're going to do.
Well, they've got all the Monkey Island stuff that they're coming out with, like, this week, I think. But they've said they're going to be releasing some of their other old stuff. It'll be interesting to see if it gets the same kind of remake effort that they put into the old Monkey Island. Because they actually did a really nice job with it and did basically the old hint books. If people who used to play adventure games are familiar with the ancient invisible erase markers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monkey Island's coming out on the Xbox Live this Wednesday.
Yeah, so they basically built it into the game.
That's
which
cool.
Is pretty cool and will probably allow the people who have not played an adventure game before a chance at playing through the thing and seeing the end.
Or going to GameFAQs and using that.
Now they don't have to.
Well, there's actually precedent for that. The later re-releases, because there were usually 2 releases of Infocom games, the later re-releases of Infocom games, while they were still actually Infocom, had a built-in hint mechanism where in a particular area that you were in, you could type hint, and it would give you a hint about the puzzle that's in that room.
Just keep the game flowing. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah.
If they were Infocom games, I bet the hints would just, give you, maybe a slightly better chance of figuring out what to do with the goddamn Babel fish.
It was 3 levels of hints.
Oh,
So if you did the first one, it would say, maybe you should do something with that fish. And then the next one would be, maybe the fish could help you hear better. And then it would say, stick the damn fish in your ear.
Well, that's pretty cool then. And
Yeah, it was pretty
that's
cool.
essentially what they're doing here, 30 years later.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everybody can enjoy the game, and even if you did enjoy it, then you can get it past that point and try and enjoy the other part of the game.
Well,
Yeah.
adventure
So it kept it
games
going.
inherently have those kind of brick walls built into them,
Yeah.
too. You, get stuck, and then you're just screwed.
So are any of you guys going to be
Beyond
picking
Zork
up
had a lot of
anything
those.
off Steam? From the LucasArts archives, I guess.
I haven't picked up anything off Steam yet. I'm not going to start now.
Brian,
I've downloaded some stuff from there, but I don't know. I probably have to check it out.
you might. Well, if they have Full Throttle, that'll be available. I'm sure you'll
I
pick
might
that.
be tempted, but I really enjoyed playing Full Throttle. That was just a silly game.
I've been
And,
pissed at Steam since Half-Life 2.
Okay.
So there you go.
Did,
So there you go.
Steve, what Half-Life 2 steal your lunch money? What happened?
Did.
Well, I didn't have internet connection at home, and Half-Life 2 came out.
So how
I've
was
been
that
bitter
Steve's
ever
fault?
since.
You had to play it online.
Steam's fault. You have to be.
You couldn't play the single-player
It
game.
had to
Oh, that's
verify
right.
you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
online,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
you couldn't connect to it.
Yeah.
Go to the
Yay,
store, buy the
DRM.
box copy. Can't play it.
Can't use it.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right.
Still bitter.
Just
Obviously.
a little bit.
All right. So next up,
See, if you had an iPhone, you could have tethered.
Well, let me teleport that back to my what?
2003 something.
Of course, at that point, you're gonna be like, "Screw Steam, I'm gonna play with this."
I suppose
Steam is
it really is
2003.
just like 5 years old now. So
Yeah. Pretty much.
I swear it's older than that though.
No, it just seems like it because Half-Life 1 came out in '93.
Yeah, that was a pretty big leap from 1 to 2.
There's
All
a
right.
decade between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
And they
Dang.
it's a
exploded
long
the
ass
episodic
time.
content.
All right. So next up, our good friend Jack Trenton, who is the CEO of Sony Computer Entertainment.
Awesome. Did he
decides
say
to s-
something?
He said something stupid again.
Oh, there's a
That's the only time he
surprise.
says something.
The
actually.
stupid part is a given.
So during an interview with Fast Company, the Sony bigwig mentioned that the goal of the company is long-term and not in the short term. He says, quote, "People are having short-term thinking. The platform is not even 3 years old. It was $5.99. It's now $3.99, he said. He's dismissing the PS3 price cut talk and,
Well, he's saying they've already made their price cut.
oh, well, yeah.
Look at this.
From
it's
from
$200
600 to
cheaper.
400.
It's not even 3 years old, and it's already in the bottom of the heap.
I love the fact that they started the price so high, and I'm not saying that's what they did intentionally, but when you start the price so high on a system, it's easy to drop $100 or $200 and say, "Wow, look at this price cut." Well, yeah, the fucking thing was $600 to start with, so
They really
you
should
can make
just.
5 price cuts and look as good as you want.
They needed to do some market research and look at a little company called 3DO, and learn something.
The part that I like is apparently Moore's Law is a 10-year cycle for Sony.
Yeah.
Even Neo Geo was that way in the beginning, but they put out some really cool games.
Or,
I'm sure in 10
Jaguar.
years it'll be a perfectly good Blu-ray player.
Well, yeah, but 10
It's
years.
a great Blu-ray
Yeah, but 10
player
years.
now. It's
Yeah, but 10,
It's not
10
gonna
years.
change.
10 years later, people are going to be going, "What's Blu-ray?"
No, they'll be like, well, who buys Blu-ray? It'll be just like Laserdisc.
Yeah, at that point you'll be sticking crystals up your ass or something.
Gas crystals.
I don't know, in
Again
10
with the
years,
ass-
I bet you'll be able
You're
to
the
go
one
to
that was
Walmart.
proponent for the ass crystals last episode,
yeah.
Murdock.
Yeah, well, that's the future of gaming. Just
That and Ice
Chris-
Pirates.
Ice Ice Pirates
Are
and
those
ass crystals.
are those people who
I
sell
love that
ware-
role-playing game.
Are those
Ice Pirates and ass crystals. Love it.
So next up, Microsoft believes avatars are more popular than Gears of War 2. What? So
Why the
according
fuck do they even compare the two things?
So, well, here's what they said. According to Xbox Australia, which is staffed by 2 people, the avatars are ranking amongst the country's most popular wastes of time being played, in quotation marks, more than the likes of Gears of War 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4.
How do you play an Avatar?
It's 2 games that are over a year old now.
Well, and are those games available in Australia?
Well, that's a
That
good
would make
question.
for an easy comparison now, wouldn't it?
You have a
uh,
point there.
The Avatar is definitely winning, but we'd have to have the game to really have it.
Well, does it mean everybody's
Comparison.
played it once?
I think that retail sales chart thing is just saying, hey, if you force everybody to download something for free, the numbers look pretty good.
Well, yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
this is obviously biased.
What do you mean down? Well, you didn't choose to download it. It just kind of,
well, yes. Now make the leap. Oh.
I still haven't made
Everybody
after
has to
me.
use it at least once to make their avatar, except for Murdock. And not everybody has to play Gears of War at least once.
And repeat after me. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
They do. Is that a cell phone?
No, it's an iPhone.
Steve's ship has come in. So, yeah.
So that's the 3rd podcast in a row where we've had the.
It's on vibrate.
Oh,
So bite me,
Oh.
fucker.
I know. Okay, I'll bite you later. Jeez, so pushy. I haven't played Gears of War either. I keep
One or
being
two?
told. Oh,
Oh, it's
either
fun.
one.
I still enjoy it.
I haven't
it the
played
other
Gears of
night.
War 2 because it's still $60 retail.
No, it's
Really?
down to 35 on Amazon.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
I'll have to look at that.
The prices have been sinking. I'm waiting for 30. I'm holding out.
There's a lot of retail copies out there on shelves that are still $60. I'm like, this game is not
that's
$60.
probably the special edition.
No, those are the used
special edition, $70 still on a lot of
still
retail.
No, the $50 ones are the used ones at GameStop.
Yeah,
There
that doesn't
hasn't been
count.
any MSRP shift at all. But Amazon just totally slashed the price down to 35, I think, last week here.
that's okay. I
So
bought
I'm-
Fable 2 for 40. So
I just
I'm
played
pretty
it
sure
last.
this means
I
the
played it
greatest
about
hits
3
is
days
right
ago
around the corner.
with Josh and his brother
Could be.
Jason. We spent from like 3 hours. I think it was like 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. They just bought it, so they're just getting into it now. So
Josh, as in the Josh I know?
yeah,
Oh.
go figure. Anyways, yeah, definitely fun. That's one of those games too that it doesn't matter. I still enjoy going back and playing it every time somebody gets it for the first time.
I
'cause it's just
keep
fun to
being
play
told
with
that it's a
people.
good game.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
so long as you understand how to take cover and fire from cover. If you don't understand that, you're not going to like it very much.
That seems very pivotal in the game.
Yes.
I would take that the new cover system of shooters over any of the first-person shooters, though.
They're different kind of games.
They are different.
It's like, I liked Bad Company just as well, even though it didn't have a cover system.
Well, it was first-person, too.
So if I played Gears of War, how much brown should I expect?
Well, it's actually kind of a mottled gray a lot of times.
Sometimes it's blue.
Yeah.
So gothic.
Sometimes it's really red.
And Gears of War 2, they were saying, was going to be like a kaleidoscope of color, so maybe you should start with that one.
I don't believe you. So next,
Fable 2 is really colorful.
okay.
I'm just saying.
So
Next-
is Viva Pinata.
Yeah, that all starts with the packaging, though.
Does that have a karma system in it like Fable?
I don't know.
I
It's
still
a
haven't-
caramel system.
I don't think I've put more than 5 minutes in my copy, and I've had it since
Fable
like
2?
a year and a half ago. No, Pinata.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
suppose
well,
it depends
Pinata.
on if you feel like using your shovel for good or evil.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, EA accidentally announces Command and Conquer 4
Well, EA
because
is just
What
pissing
does
off
that
a
even
lot
mean?
of people right now.
What does it even mean? What does it matter?
Oh, the UK edition or
the UK EA Twitter feed,
department. Yeah.
their PR department's like, oh, by the way, Command and Conquer 4 is coming out, and everyone's like, what?
Don't.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
Well, since Command and Conquer 3 was such a stunning
This is
success.
called accidental publicity.
yeah, I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here.
So
I'm
can I
confused by this item.
save the world some time and announce Gears of War 3,
Yeah.
StarCraft
No, it's
3, Diablo
scandalous.
3,
Scandalous.
and many other sequels to successful franchises?
Yes. There's that one with the football guy.
Madden.
And and the one with the hockey guy.
Gretzky?
Yeah.
There.
So next up, new MechWarrior announced, and MechWarrior 4 to be distributed free. And I don't know, does anyone here play MechWarrior?
Well, the awesome bit of news for this
Not
is
anymore.
apparently if you get an Xbox USB adapter, you can use the Steel Battalion controller with MechWarrior 4.
Oh, this could be very fun.
I was discussing this with Albert today before I got here.
Albert?
Albert, Sogetsu. And the thing that kind of, I'm not a huge MechWarrior fan. It's kind of fun. I liked playing MechWarrior 1 back in the day. But I thought it was great that you could actually jump on things and fire and do headshots.
MechWarrior
in,
2, also awesome.
1989 or
It's
so.
good fun multiplayer on Xbox.
But, that's not MechWarrior, it's Mech Assault.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But the thing that concerns me about this is they're getting rid of the mech food chain. The mechs themselves, their structures won't make any difference.
Ooh, that's no good.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the whole point. So what you'll do is you'll pick an appearance and then outfit as you see fit. As opposed to having the different classes of mechs that have different abilities and things
Yeah,
like that.
fast and light versus heavy and slow.
Yep.
If they don't give me the construction rules from the pen and paper game, I'm really disappointed.
I would prepare to be disappointed because it seems like they're making this for who?
Oh no, not the casual gamers.
Yes, indeed. That's why it's free.
But however will I get my fix for balancing heat seek distribution?
Could always go back to the pen and paper game.
Where will I want to be able to vaporize people with my PPCs by perfectly balancing my heat output.
It's important.
It's kind of integral to the game. Otherwise, it's just Mech Assault again.
And we liked it.
So,
plus MechWarrior really was like the RPG version, not really BattleTech. So
Yeah.
Well, MechWarrior 2 was the last one that was slow.
yeah. Well, Mercenaries was pretty similar to MechWarrior 2, just with a lot of tech upgrades.
It was an expansion pack for
Yeah.
2 is what I'd call it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It wasn't really an expansion pack, but it was
yeah,
it was the same engine with the
standalone
better
expansion.
stuff and prettier graphics. And think about this, kid. You get to keep all the money. One of the best intros of any game I've ever seen, where they leave one of the they
got
leave
my
their
interest.
squad they leave their lance leader behind because her mech can't make it to the dropship, and he's like, "Don't worry about it, kid. Just think about this. You get to keep all the money."
Soul American.
so next up, a new Michael Jackson game is in the works, slated for Christmas 2009.
So is this going to be a reskin of Dr. Mario?
No.
Yes, sir. Number 9. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. A Japanese game sells more with a trap announcement.
Well, you can't look at it.
Was it a bear trap?
No, it was a trap, like Bridget from Guilty Gear.
Oh, I thought it was like a ghost trap.
No,
So you couldn't look at it.
So, and I just added this in here because I thought it was kind of funny and tells a lot about Japanese culture. But basically, there were the pre-order numbers for Idolmaster, which is a DS Idol Star management game that were made through Nico Nico, which is a pre-order site, was only 142 until 2 days ago. But after it was revealed that one of the female, in quotation marks, idol singers, Ryo, is actually a guy, the pre-orders multiplied with an additional 160 pre-orders. And basically, the producer and the director for the game have both answered that character is also their favorite, too. It says a lot about Japan. So if you want to sell more copies of a game, make sure to
Gender
include a
bending.
trap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or tranny.
A tranny.
it's a trap.
Isn't
It's a tarp.
That's a trap too.
a tranny? Isn't that in like Gran Turismo?
They can endorse Gran Turismo too.
Yeah, you
It's
can
a-
add a
it's got a tranny
tranny to your
endorsement.
car.
That's how you sell a $40 prologue.
Yeah.
God damn, I want to play that, but $40
Is
to
it
play
still
a
$40?
piece of a game just ticks me off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you could buy Forza 3.
Yeah, or I can go buy a whole game for less. That's just sad.
Are you
What
planning
the
on picking
hell?
up Forza 3?
I am now.
Oh.
I just want to know how it is that they've managed to let their competition come out with 2 games. Maybe 3. We don't know yet. Before they had managed to put another one out.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody should ask them. Is perfection
Well,
costing you money?
We'll send out some. Well, let's talk to the Duke Nukem 3D staff about that one.
They
Oh
weren't
no, their
aiming
game
for
will come out.
perfection.
It's just gonna be.
They were aiming for money hats, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think they stopped production of the real game and they went focused on the PSP game because that one's coming out.
Huh.
I think that's because they got somebody else to do it.
Yeah, probably a different team.
Yeah.
Well, there was the rumor brought up by Penny Arcade that they were all still enraptured by EverQuest, and so there was no developing going on. So,
That's more likely than you think.
I
Yeah.
needed to have Sony shut down the original EQ servers before we got
why?
any
That's the only
progress.
one they're playing anymore. EQ2 nobody plays.
So next up, and this will interest probably just Brian and myself, Cave has confirmed the sequel to Mushihimesama ESPGaluda II and Deathsmiles II for consoles, probably
Well,
Xbox
import
360.
consoles.
Well,
Are they going to do them on disc or DLC?
as far as I know, it'll
disc.
probably be physical disc.
They've
Which will
only
be awesome.
done.
Do you have a
One?
Japanese 360?
Yes, I do. I
Ah.
do now.
Is the DLC market for Japan on the 360 comparable to the American market?
It's pretty much exactly the same. I actually went on my Xbox
Except
360.
for the video. Because the whole video marketplace thing is pretty much jacked everywhere but the U.S.
The one for Japan isn't too bad, but when I looked through all the downloads for the Japanese Xbox 360, 99% of the stuff that's available here is available there, with the exception of, add-ons for games that are Japan only. So, not really too much of a big. Yeah, I mean you're not really missing anything if you go on the Japanese marketplace.
There
Set
are
in
a lot
place
of
too. Like, does Netflix work in Japan, or is that?
I don't think they have an. Well, I don't
Do
know
they
if
have
they
something
have.
comparable to that?
They
would probably
might.
need localized servers for Netflix
well then
to do that.
I would be amazed if Netflix would have any Japanese subscribers.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
Well,
not
do
sure
they have
the
a service
postage
over there
model
that works
really
the same?
works.
or
they
anything
might.
comparable?
It's not Netflix, but they might have something. I don't know.
They certainly wouldn't be integrated with the 360.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you look at the Wii is trying to do something with video over in Japan. They're going through a test market right now where you can download video. So I'm kind of wondering. It's all streamed just like Netflix.
I mean,
they definitely have a better market penetration though, and more units sold. So
Yeah.
I mean, the economy of scale is a little bit better there than for
and
360
there
units sold in
probably is
Japan.
a better option for or better
Yeah.
chance for them to do that there because nobody else.
But I mean,
Like we have Netflix here, there's nobody else over there doing it right now, so they're probably the first out of the gate.
Oh no, I'm sure there's video streaming services in Japan.
No, I mean through video game systems though. There's nothing else, no competition really.
I think Sony
assuming-
already has a video streaming service for the PSP, which probably means it works on the PS3 too.
Huh. That would be interesting to
But
see.
I'd be willing to bet money that Sony and Nintendo care more about Japan than Microsoft does.
yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
but
Well,
if
as
you
far as gaming goes,
if you look at the Xbox 360 menus for the Japanese unit, I mean, mostly just Japanese centric content, and I mean it's not really much of a difference. You get the Majors Minute and all that stuff. You just get the Japanese versions of that type of stuff.
I mean Juru's minute.
Well, it's not like that, but you get for Japanese games, it's like
Shoja's minutes.
if you want, if you want to play if you want
show you weenie.
hints on Yakuza 3 on how to set up your maid hostess
Yeah.
club, then yeah.
I
Just
tried it
localized
once,
to their games.
but there were just all these pointless hieroglyphic squiggles everywhere. So
Yeah,
I don't know why
the
anybody
bug
would bother.
splats and
We
the
call that-
tarantulas.
We call that moon language.
Moonspeak.
Moonspeak. Yep.
Moon and Knights.
No, it's
No, it's not the moon and night.
although that would make Japanese a lot more interesting to learn.
In Japan, we have Japaweed.
Yes.
Moonawana. The Japanawana.
What is quad glacier in Japanese?
Quad glacier.
So next up,
Is it water?
well, that's one of the Moonanite special attacks,
Oh.
the quad glacier.
Quad glacier.
I'd actually move slower than that. So next up, Dragon Quest IX sells 2.34 million copies in 2 days.
I'd say the quest succeeded.
Yes.
On the plus side, the Amazon rankings are already skewed totally towards horrible.
Yeah.
Well, it does only have one save slot.
Huh.
That's convenient. So does Fable.
Really?
Yeah.
But
No, you can have multiple characters in Fable.
Well, right, but you can always have one save per character.
Yeah. But if you only have one save slot on a cartridge, that's your save. And you better not let anybody borrow your cartridge.
Yeah.
yeah. So the lines in Akihabara were quite amusing, to say
Why
the
do people
least.
keep playing Dragon Quest? It's not very good.
I don't know, but
And now it's DS only. So it's even worse.
I mean,
So they didn't have to have any new code.
well, think about it this way: it sold 2 million copies, so of course it's like, well, someone must be playing it. It's not one guy that bought 2 million copies of the game.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't put it past Japan.
It's not Akira
500
Toriyama.
people that bought a copy of it, and it's 2.3.035 that bought them to export them to the U.S.
Dragon
Man,
Quest
that's
isn't that popular here, though.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
It never has been.
Well, it's you know why?
Maybe
It's not a very gay game.
Maybe one person is buying 2 copies just so they can have 2 save slots.
Yeah. you stack them like in the Genesis. You stack them all together. You can get more save slots.
Actually, there's an attachment for the Nintendo DS that works like a switch box. You can place different DS cartridges and just switch between the cartridges.
Oh, really?
Because it's just so hard to take out your cartridge.
Apparently.
And you'd rather have a bulky attachment.
Yes.
Huh.
Right.
Well, that's for the hikis that are in really small rooms.
And are
Doesn't even have
technically,
room to move your hands around to put a new card. You gotta be like, where the hell did I put that card?
Maybe that works when you're on the subway.
and too technically incompetent to rip them all to flesh.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So next up, our last news bit, Warner Brothers buys Midway. So
About 2 more podcasts, we got to see an announcement for Mortal Kombat 3, the movie.
They announced that movie about 2 years ago.
Yeah, but now they're actually going to go through it
Yeah.
because they own the rights to it.
Yeah.
They don't have to go pay
It was
for it.
supposedly going to pull Highlander
Again.
3 and totally ignore number 2.
How many cents
been a
was
bad
Midway
thing.
worth?
Yeah.
good question.
I don't
Not a
think
lot.
they bought 100% of it. I think they just bought a majority of it. There's something weird about that.
Well, someone found change under the couch and bought Midway.
One. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, but now they own all these great IPs like Mortal Kombat and
Mortal Kombat.
help me out here.
What was the sequel to that?
1942.
Was,
No, that was Capcom.
oh. Did they have a sequel thing to that too? Was Gods?
War Gods.
War Gods, yeah.
Oh, and
That was a shitty game.
Oh,
and,
yeah, we were at E3
Smash
when that,
TV.
Smash TV.
we were
They
at
could make a movie of that. Oh wait, they have. It's called The Running Man.
Yeah.
We were at E3 when War Gods was there.
Oh, God, that was a crappy
the
game.
arcade was in demo.
It was not.
That was
Oh,
back in '96.
Oh, and Mace the Dark Age.
Yeah.
And I think Criticom, was another one of their games, if I remember
probably own rights
correctly.
to a lot of pinball games now.
Yeah, it's Bally Midway.
That's
so
true. That's true.
you're gonna see a lot of pinball compilations coming back out again.
You'll
Greatest
just
hits.
see movies based on pinball.
Yeah.
games.
Pinballs. We need to see pinball.
What was that?
Wizard.
What was that pinball one that you liked? Was it Attack from Mars or something like
Mars
that?
Attacks.
Was it based off the movie or was it something
No,
else?
you're right. It was Attack from Mars because it was a loose translation of it. It wasn't. It was.
That was a fun-
intentionally
that was
supposed
a
to
fun
be that
pinball
same
game.
way, but they couldn't use the name for it.
Theater of Magic was my favorite.
That was awesome, and so was Medieval. I think it was Medieval Madness. You could actually launch a cow at the castle in the back of the pinball machine.
I have to go with Steve on Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Twilight's one of the
The
best.
Twilight Zone was hard. It was a
Was
really
that a
low-scoring
Midway game?
I'll tell you, best
know.
pinball machine of all time was Pinbot 2.
Yeah.
That's a Williams.
That's an awesome.
And I think
machine.
Midway bought all of Williams' properties. So I'm thinking Robotron 2084, the movie coming out,
It can be a
Or
double feature with Asteroids.
or Defender,
Yeah,
Defender.
they're gonna pull a Tarantino.
or
and do a
Defender
double
2
feature.
Stargate. They could do Tubin. No, that was an Atari game.
God,
All right.
stop the horror.
Okay.
Little stun runner there.
Well, they could do Area 51.
You know, it's just over at Elitch's.
They
They have one of those.
still have an
Area 51.
arcade at the
They have
Elitch's.
and they have a working Area 51.
Wow.
That's
the
a
light
money
guns
maker.
even both work.
Yeah, that's a money maker. It's a cheap, easy money maker.
Could probably still get the light guns for it.
So, Warner Brothers, now that you own all of Midway's properties, I'm just saying if you're going to make any movies, do one of the obscure Laserdisc game Star Rider. Thank you. So, moving on. We're going to go to our semi-regular feature, What Have We Been Playing Lately? And Steve has been playing...
Saints Row 2 and Fable.
Are you,
2.
How are you liking Saints Row 2?
It's pretty good. Like I keep saying, it's the game that GTA 4 should have been.
And, John? You
In
got
Fable,
anything?
I bought all the food vendors in the first town. So
No.
I have a monopoly on food in the town now.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I've been
Does
having a rough time getting into Fable 2.
Yeah.
I got up to the first city and I just didn't really feel compelled to keep playing.
Huh.
No. Let's see. Time recently has all been Civilization Revolution.
How is that game?
Well, if you liked the first Civilization, it's a excellent game. It's just perfect. And Civilization, I probably spent, literally 2 years of my teenage years playing.
Spent a lot of time playing Civilization 1.
Yeah. At the time they got to Civ 2, the game was already getting kind of sprawling and taking a long time to play, and I guess diluted. But this one, Civilization Revolution, takes all the good ideas that they had, puts them back together in a stripped-down package with a UI that works for exactly what you want it to do and has all of the great experiences and feelings of Civilization. It's perfect.
Cool. So worth the however much it is.
$30 on Amazon.
Well, that's
Totally worth it.
That was a 360.
I think it's available for more than that, but that's certainly what I'm playing it on.
Yeah, I saw it on PC, but I saw you playing the other night on 360, so I was wondering how well that worked.
Pretty sure the MSRP has also not gone down on that either.
Yeah, I think Amazon's just...
I don't understand. The MSRP is
price
not
category
going down
there.
on a lot of games lately. There's a lot of games out there that are still at the original release price, and you're like,
Seems like there's a slower amount of games trickling out right now too, though.
Well,
It's kind of
yeah,
We're
weird.
in the summer, but Amazon's also been doing some weird stuff where they've like clearance some things out and then they're just gone.
Huh.
It's like not getting any more back. Like Dirt, that's not that old a game.
No,
And
it's only maybe a year old.
Amazon doesn't have it in stock. Gotta buy it from third parties now.
huh.
It's like they sold them all off.
It's too bad.
Done.
I want to buy a copy of that too. I just don't want to pay a lot of money for it.
You can always head down to GameStop and give them some of your organs.
Well, and Dirt
Or
2
trade
is
in free
releasing here
brand new games.
very soon.
So, Brian, what are you playing?
Oh man, yeah, I still play a lot of Company of Heroes. I enjoy that with friends. We just get on and play a lot with each other. Fallout 3, I just finally reinstalled that on Windows RC1 and started playing that again. So I had only put maybe an hour into it originally, so I'm just walking out of the vault as we speak. And I just beat Batman Legos on a 360.
I'm sure
I
that
don't
was
know why,
not.
but that game was a lot of fun.
I'm
It's
sure that
silly
wasn't
fun.
difficult.
No, it's not difficult. It's just fun. It's a silly game, you know. It's kind of a silly diversion. And let's see. I'm just finishing World Ends With You on the DS. I got to go fight the boss battle. Be done with that so I can move on to Castlevania Order of Ecclesia, which I still got to go buy, and I'm finding that's actually kind of hard to find locally new.
Yeah.
Apparently not a lot of copies were made of it, so...
No, people hoard them like hamsters is basically what happens.
I found a game store you might want to check out too. It's right off of Kipling and I-70. It's a little one-stop place called Play and Trade. But they've got for some weird reason, I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, I know you got a lot of RPGs. He says, yeah, one of our main vendors is a big Atlas fan. He buys a lot of games through them, so... Sure enough, they have a lot of Atlas games in there. Oddball, RPG stuff, and rare. And then Atlas doesn't make all the best games, but they have some neat oddity games in there. So
I don't know. I
check it
haven't
out.
been playing a lot of RPGs lately just simply because I just don't have the time and I don't want to spend the time and invest it on like an RPG.
Well, most of the RPGs nowadays are not the RPGs of old. I mean, you can beat most of these games in 15, 20 hours. So it's easier to justify. I've probably spent.
I don't know.
30 on the
I don't know
World
if I
Ends
want to
With You.
plonk down the time and start playing like Persona 4 or something like that. That I know is
No, I'm
going to
talking
take
more
like
like
60
portable
hours.
games, more like DS or PSP games. A lot of those are a little bit faster and worth it at this point.
Speaking of RPG games and segueing into the iPhone thing.
Dun dun.
Well, I haven't said what I'm playing yet.
Well, I'm segueing right over you, and then you can return in a second.
You can re-segue. You get to counterpoint.
He doesn't want to know.
So the minimum for the GS is 16 gigabytes of storage space. My main problem with all the games I've looked at so far, very repetitive. There's a lot of games that are not repetitive on other consoles that aren't more than 6 or 8 gigabytes. So why aren't there large games on the iPhone?
Well, for one, AT&T doesn't want to pay for you downloading them.
There are ones that it says you need to hook up to your phone.
Yeah, you have to go
or your
download
computer
it through
to download.
iTunes and then connect your PC and download it.
Tap. Revenge makes you do that.
Assassin's Creed was that way too.
And apparently there isn't a proven market for iPhone games that cost more than $1.
Well,
That's
$2.99.
changing.
$2.99.
It's slowly changing.
I'm
I think-
actually seeing it go the other way because there's some of the big name people came out and did more expensive like $10 games, and now they're abandoning that and going towards
Well,
doing
no,
smaller,
I'm not saying
cheaper
$10, but I
games.
bet you're going to see games for $1.99 and $2.99 soon enough. It's going to be, well, you know what I'm saying?
3 times length.
It's a small increase, but still, they're just everybody's getting their feet in the door. In fact, EA just announced the other day that they're going to start putting out casual apps once a month that you can download for 99 cents that are just quick and easy, fun games to play, but they're going to guarantee they put one out every month. So they're obviously putting their foot in the.
Well, EA's already been making games for the iPhone. This
Yeah,
is
but
them
now
going
they've
that
guaranteed it.
We're
It's
not
like,
going to
okay,
do big games anymore. We're
Yeah.
going to do small ones.
Exactly. They're
That's
actually
what I
putting more into their micro studios to create more smaller games and churn those out versus the large games because they obviously see there's an easier, quicker, and maybe more money making in the long run. I don't know.
It just seems like it's a kind of a waste. I mean, you could do all this strategy games and RPGs and stuff on the iPhone, and you don't.
I don't know.
So.
I think it's just a matter of time. I think that's going to change.
I downloaded Scum for my phone, and that was all I ever needed for any period of gaming time that I was going to spend with my phone.
In fact, segueing into our section, I downloaded an RTS last night. That's kind of cool.
I think Murdock wants to do his game thing first.
Oh yeah, we have a game thing. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't see.
I get no respect on this
He
podcast
hasn't
at all.
done his what are we playing yet? What are we playing thing yet?
Oh yeah.
He wants to do that.
Oh, did you play something recently?
Yes.
I thought
Did
you
you
were so
already
busy.
say you were playing Fallout 3 and stuff?
Not recently. I just took a break from it for a little bit. I'll play it again here in about a month.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I'm playing other games. I
Got
want
a
to.
schedule there or
Yeah,
something?
actually, I do.
Oh, that's really sad.
So
Do you
mostly.
have like a desk blotter that you?
Yeah.
No.
You have a Gantt chart that says, when you're getting around to actually playing games.
No, it's
No.
just
That'd
dry
be pretty
erase board with
handy
a
actually,
calendar.
because then you got like a boss fight that takes too long. Just,
You just resize it.
No, it's
you got
nothing.
Microsoft Project going on there for your.
No, I just know what games I've
Did you build a flow chart?
No. No, when I was playing Fallout 3, I ended up with a bunch of games that were just sitting on the back burner. Well, now that I'm kind of,
I've never had
done
that
with,
problem.
well,
My
I
back
did
burner's
because
existed since I started playing.
well, now I'm starting to go back to these games that I meant to play at, some time ago.
Yeah.
And I figure that by the time I'm done with them, which will probably be about a month, I'll go back to Fallout 3.
I kind of enjoy the fact that I have probably 2 or 3 games on each system that are still in the plastic wrap. It's like I'm always going to have a gift to open at some point.
Well, however you want to justify it, I guess whatever works.
Shut up, it works.
So, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of fighting games lately.
I did get Patapon 2. I did intentionally buy the downloadable one to see how that works. So by next podcast, I'll tell you how that worked and see what that does.
So the Arc system works Blaze Blue, which is an awesome game. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
if you didn't like Guilty Gear, you're not gonna like Blaze
Well, it's
Blue.
the same people.
Well, the thing is not everyone knows that, but it's an incredibly deep fighting game with a very complex system.
So more or less complicated than
Guilty Gear.
By the time Guilty Gear ended with what is that, like XX accent core or something?
Yeah. It was
Yeah, it's pretty
2
detailed.
Roman numerals plus 3 words. Yeah.
Plus, I've been playing Otomedius G, which is
Shmup.
Cute Girl Shmup, and Shooting Love 2000X, which has like the shmup, which
Compilation.
it's got Exeal and Trizeal, and then it's got this shooting test, which basically gives you all these shmup tests, and it
That's the cool one, yeah.
that one's kicking my ass too, I might add.
It's very cool though, because it kind of trains you how to play shmups.
Yeah, and then
It's
it
really
gives
intuitive.
you your age as to how young. So
What is
the
it with
better
the
you
Japanese
do.
that rating everything in age? It's like
Yeah, so
what's
the
it-
best I've
what
done is
scale
27.
Are you using here?
But it's the first time I played it, I didn't know what to expect, and it's like, okay, you're 72 years old. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like
Return the
it's
game
like
to the
shmup
store
brain
now.
training. All right, so let's move on.
Shmup training.
So let's move on to your iPhone stuff. So, so this Wikipedia game, what is this about?
That
How
probably
quickly
is
you
the
can look
best
stuff
game
up.
on there.
There's a lot of good free stuff on there. I got Wild West Pinball. Actually, not a bad pinball game. Kind of fun. Assassin's Creed was. I mean, who's going to turn that down?
But I mean, is it the full Assassin's Creed?
I don't know. I actually haven't gotten that far into it.
No,
Well,
it's a. I think is it a port of the DS one that they did?
Yeah, but it's actually much better than the DS.
Which is kind of weird that you say that because universally people rail on that thing for having shitty controls.
Yeah, but it looks better, and it just overall looks like a better. Yeah, you don't have the controller. That's probably the only thing that's
the
keeps
major
me
problem
from
with the
considering it a major,
iPhone.
Yeah, major gaming system in any way, shape, or form. Is it just doesn't have any buttons on it. That makes it really hard to use. Except for, I downloaded this game. It's an RTS game called Quantum Collapse. It actually works pretty well with you just clicking on figures and telling them where to go, what to do.
Well,
It actually is not bad, but that's just basically using a mouse click, like on your PC. So it works pretty well.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean with RPGs and strategy games. The interface works well for them. They're not complex. You don't need speed for them.
Yeah.
You can do game mechanics that aren't. It doesn't matter if when you're using the controls, you're obscuring half the screen with your thumb.
Yeah.
The menu will still be waiting for you to select Stab Monster when you're done.
Correct.
I've actually bought a few apps on there. One's called Card Ninja. It's actually kind of fun. You get this pile of cards that appears, and then you've got to shoot it between the matching symbol at the edge of the screen at some point and try and get them as fast as you can and as accurately
So how
as
do you
possible.
control this? I mean, how do you
It's all
control
with
the
your
game?
fingers on the screen. You always do everything with the fingers on
That
the screen. So you're
seems-
just like
yeah.
flicking the cards.
And sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's
But
also
most
the
of these are free
accelerometer.
for a reason.
Yeah,
And a lot of the better
accelerometer, too.
games, or at least better reviewed games, use the accelerometer because then you don't have your fingers in front of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of
So
like,
like Super Monkey Ball,
Yes,
which I
Well,
believe is
was
on
one of the
iPhone.
launch games, I believe.
Might be, but I haven't looked for that one yet. It's probably a paid for.
I have one called
Yes.
Fast, which is a
Yeah.
flight combat sim.
I saw that last night. I was going to
That
ask you
uses
about
the
that.
accelerometer where you take and you do this sort of thing. You move the iPhone around in order to
Like a
pilot.
steering
Perfect
wheel
for
or-
being on a crowded bus.
Yeah, it looks like you're a freaking moron when you're playing it, and it suffers from. It's kind of a cool game for about 20 minutes, and suffers from the same thing that a lot of iPhone's games suffer from. They're very repetitive. Content not there.
Because you
Yeah.
can buy one every 20 minutes for
Yep.
$1, I
I
guess.
downloaded one called Glow Ball. Same thing. It's basically like Marble Madness. You're moving the thing back and forth around to guide the ball through lots of things and multipliers, and so.
Though Fast, the problem with it is that you pilot like that, but you still have to use your thumbs on the screen to fire missiles and
Yeah.
to fire countermeasures. And this is the thing that really got me. To fire the countermeasures, you actually shake the thing, so you can't watch while you're doing it and pilot at the same time.
Yeah.
So as soon as you fire a countermeasure, your plane's like doing one of these things, and you're like, oh, jeez.
Yay, waggle.
Well, and then the only one I've seen that's really kind of works mostly well is Tap Tap Revenge, which is Dance Dance Revolution, except you tap on things.
Yeah. Did you play the Guitar Hero clone? That
You
actually
mean
got a lot of good ratings.
The one on iPhone or the one that
yeah,
was?
the one on iPhone.
I haven't seen it. I haven't tried it. But the thing is that the only problem with it is that you can't use it in landscape mode.
Yeah.
You can only use it in profile mode, and so it's not very comfortable.
Yeah. For
You can't-
bigger fingers,
You can't lay it in the palm of your hand and play it. You got to do one of these things.
Yeah, where you're
which
looking
is-
at vertically.
And the song selection is really limited. They say
Yeah.
150. They say 150 songs. I'm like, okay, I see 5 or 6. Where's the rest of the songs getting hit? Well, nowhere
They're
apparently.
coming.
Yeah.
That's going to be an update
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
There's some fun, silly games on there, like ice hockey. The FS5 hockey is just fun. That's a cool thing to do with your fingers and get 2 people playing on your phone. But air hockey's always been fun. Can't go wrong with that. They do have some interesting ones on that are online only, so you have to connect through a Wi-Fi network somewhere. So you have to go to like your Starbucks or if you have Wi-Fi at home and do it because you have to do it online only. You can't just play the game independently, which is kind of
Which
weird.
is killer because it kills your battery to use Wi-Fi.
Yo, fucking A. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that gets to the cheap shot. So what's your battery life plan, that RTS game?
Well, you just go to your, you just go to the Starbucks near an outlet and plug
Yeah,
it in
yeah,
while you're playing.
Well, actually,
sad but true.
if you're not using Wi-Fi or 3G, the battery life is actually pretty darn good.
even while you're running a 3D game.
There's other options you can choose
Because
too,
I've heard
like
4 hours.
That's had a last pretty. When I was playing the fast one, and I had it on, I had normal recharge day.
Okay.
But I wasn't using a Wi-Fi. I'll frickin' suck it like nothing.
3G is constantly surging, so it's just eating it up left and right.
Even with if I have 3G all day, it's about a day. I recharge it when I go to sleep. But Wi-Fi will suck it in 3-4 hours max.
There's other things you can do to save battery life, like you can change your email client to push only every 15 minutes instead of every 5 minutes, or every 30 minutes if you want. Because when you go to check your email, it's going to refresh it on the spot anyway, so you don't need it doing it every 5 minutes. So that's saving battery power too.
Well, the real thing is, do you buy the little battery pack, and then you can slip it into the battery pack
and change your brightness when you don't need it to be super.
Because you need to do it well, and that was kind of who was I talking to? Oh, it was Damien, who was saying that he turned before you showed up at Sheds last week. He said he noticed that his the brightness on his iPhone wasn't turned up all the way. And so he turned it up, and it's like freaking amazingly bright.
Yeah.
Which explains to me why there's a flashlight app. It actually it turns up the brightness on one part of the screen so you can use it as a flashlight. Apparently.
I'm sure it just displays a whole white screen.
Well, it's got like different shapes that you can do and stuff.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
I don't. That's why it's free. You got to realize the vast majority of the free ones on the iPhone are really tech demos. They're look at the cool thing we figured out how to do and didn't get banned by Apple for uploading it.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? Do they just roll dice and say, "Well, this is going to be
the ESRB and the MPAA"?
Yeah. Why isn't Apple using the ESRB?
These aren't real games.
Because it's Apple. They don't use anybody's stuff.
What are they using for their age rating system?
Oh.
I don't think they have anything.
No, they did in the recent iPhone 3 update. It's one of the things they added because they were.
They do have parental controls, but frick, I'm adult. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that was one of the things they were saying would allow them to be looser with what they release, because now they could say, this is for these age ranges instead of
there are sexy girl screensaver things.
Yeah, I saw a couple of those as free downloads too, and of course in the top 50, obviously. But
so the thing I really wonder about the iPhone, though, is for the game stuff that I've seen for it, is, man, if they just had Flash support in the browser, would there be any reason to play anything native on there, or one of the 4 million Flash games that are out on the web instead?
I don't know. We'll see. Eventually they'll get around to getting Flash on there. The only reason they they didn't do it before was because it took too much memory and it was too slow on the CPU speed they were using on the old one. So looking at the tech specs,
not Apple's code either.
Well,
and Apple has a serious case and not invented here.
Well, yeah, but it worked. Flash works on Mac OS, so.
Hey, look, sexy lingerie, bikini, and swimwear models. Or we could go to Google and type like Deep Throat.
Yeah, but that was done in like the 1960s, and there's a serious
backgrounds or something. I think
it's 1960s, and there's a serious case of crotch muff and bad hair in that particular movie. So.
I'm pretty sure if you put a space in there, I bet that movie is not what comes up first.
I don't know. We'll have to try it. See what happens.
700 photos, and they're free.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see your 7.5-inch diagonal rectangular pictures there.
Yeah, there's the pictures.
Actually, you want to know an interesting thing about
this? Look what we found on the internet.
Actually, you want to know something interesting, people you two that don't have iPhones? Check this out. So when you read you read the description. You can't move back and forth until you get down to the bottom, and then you can this one right here,
and
you can move back and forth.
Kind of line it up a little bit.
Yeah. Huh. So I don't know if it's a separate frame or what the deal is, but it's kind of a neat little thing.
Like a separate
it's
widget.
Neat because you get little kind of ideas of, or the little screen clips of what you're going to download or what it looks like or what it does.
I really need to go and try it pre, because I definitely like that card.
What did I hear about the pre's?
My friend's got one and he says it sucks because they just haven't made hardly any applications for
it
it.
also sucks. It also sucks because it's Sprint.
Well,
I like Sprint.
I got laid off from Sprint, so I'm a little bitter.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago.
But he was upset about Half-Life.
The problem I'm not so surprised about that there's not a lot of apps for the pre, because it's a grand total of like 3 weeks old. But but the problem that I've heard about the pre is that it's just constructed real cheap, and so
And I don't like that little slip down or slide down text.
Well, you just don't like it
keyboard.
because you're used to being able to use the
Well,
wired
no,
keyboard.
one
now.
of the biggest complaints about it is it doesn't slide far enough down. You keep bumping your fingers into that top row of letters, and it's actually hard. It makes it harder to text. If
Well, you
you're
have
trying to do
gamer
that.
thumbs though, so you might.
Well, no, this is just true.
Giant callous gamer.
I will admit I was not a texter until I got this because it gives you that full keyboard layout, and it's so easy. It literally makes it so easy to do that it doesn't encumber you in any way. And even when you do screw up on a letter, you can just move your finger back and forth on the screen while touching it, and then you get the right letter.
Yeah,
so.
but you are
I
a
would
coordinated
take-
person that has gamer thumbs and fingers, and you
Actually,
can
it's
do
kind
that.
of interesting when
I
you
take
use.
a small hardware keyboard over a touchscreen any day.
Well, if it was like that wide, I would.
Yeah, if it has that size, that's fine. But
Well, I mean, for one, that was my choice because yes, I bought the one that was that size.
Yeah.
But I bet I'd still prefer the Pre to the touchscreen. Tactile feedback matters
Yeah, but the keyboard's only about this wide on a pre.
because it's vertical.
Yeah.
I know.
it's just
That's
not
why I'd like to try one.
comfortable.
And also the other thing I like about it is the Pre. So the iPhone is designed to be something you watch stuff on. It's first and foremost a media delivery thing. You
I guess.
read the internet on it, you listen to music, you watch movies. That's what the whole thing was built around. It's not designed for inputting things into it. That's why it's got a big touch screen. So the Pre is really much more competing with the BlackBerry.
Well,
it's the same
right.
idea
I
that
mean,
it's
it's the same form factor and everything.
yeah, and it's a communication device.
Yeah.
And so it seems they've taken that idea of of services and bundling it all together into something that actually works with being more than just email now. Trying to turn email and IM and any of your other Twitter type things that are out there into one coherent messaging view. Which, same kind of thing Google Wave's going for. Interesting idea and more of what I want to use a phone for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the vast majority of stuff you can still do on that. You just have to get used to the touchscreen keyboard, which takes a while.
Well, and the metaphor isn't designed for it either. I mean,
No, but
the
it works
Pre is set
pretty
up
darn
from
well.
the ground up to have all of those things running at the same time.
Well,
and
Well, you can
integrate
run a
them
lot of
together.
first-party apps on this at the same time. Third-party, not
Not
obviously.
at the
but
same time.
yeah,
You
there's
can
a
run
bunch of, there's a bunch
multiple-
of you can background a bunch of first-party apps now.
Yeah,
That was
they
part of the
actually
thing with
do.
the iPhone 3.
Well, no, they've got the push
to mention-
notification stuff,
No.
but it's not
yeah.
backgrounding.
Yeah.
Not to mention you can have multiple web pages open at the same time, checking same things or different
Yeah, it lets you
things.
tab things and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like if you had that tab interface for the device as a whole instead of only in one application.
Well, you do in the first-party apps. You just can't do it with the stuff you want to add on. So it's limited to
Well,
those.
it's not even for the
branches.
first party. It's one app can do it within itself, but you can't have more than one thing going at the same time.
Yeah, but the question we need to ask is, can you play
Well,
Super Monkey
at-
Ball on
at-
your Pre?
You actually not only can you do that, but we found it when you put when you use like the Sirius app and you put it to sleep, you
Yeah.
sleep the interface, it'll still run.
And it's still streaming music in the background.
Yep.
So
And the
it's
iPhone
apparently-
will and the iPod app will also run in the background of all of them. So you can
Well, that's always been the case.
right,
Because
but
music playing's always worked.
so technically yes, you can background. It's just a lot of stuff isn't allowed to.
Okay, you can get a special exemption to be able to do so. Are there now? Well, I guess there probably aren't any IM client people. They're probably just all using push notification. And God, we're so far off video games. It isn't even funny.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. What was your point?
we
That the iPhone is not the God phone. God damn it! And
Well,
now
I didn't
people
say it's
stop
God phone, but I
masturbating
just
all
love-
over the fucking thing.
I just
all
love
over
You know,
the
that.
John.
it is definitely
John,
not.
there's
So
an
it
app
is-
for that.
Yeah. It
I'm
is
tired
definitely
of people assuming
there
that it's
are-
supposed to be a God phone. I just use it for what it does and
well,
enjoy the fact that it
there's
is a
lot of
portable
people
laptop.
that are very fanboyish about because it's Apple. They get
Damien.
fanboyish about it.
Well, I don't care about them. I just care about the stuff I can
Oh,
do
but
on
I'm
it
saying
and
he's-
enjoy
he's-
using it for that
He's
stuff.
correct in that there are a lot of people who are
Well,
like
fuck
that.
them. I don't care about them.
It's all well and good. He apparently doesn't care about them either. So
I want to fuck them in their stupid faces.
Well, you need to show up at the door with a script and say, "Are you so and so?
yeah, fuck
Did
them
you
in their
write
stupid
on
ass."
this day this and this and this?"
You just
I
knock
fuck
on
them
the
in their
door going,
stupid faces,
"Hi,
they
I'm a
can't say
PC."
anything.
If you just fuck them in their stupid asses, though, just be saying "ow, ow, 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 ow," which in an oral audio fashion is actually a little bit more gratifying.
I don't know. They're Apple fans. They're probably used to it.
So is there anything else you'd like to do to Apple fans?
Now's your time.
Yeah.
I think we covered it.
All right.
All right. So next time if you're at an Apple store and you see, John there.
I got to tell you, though,
Yeah.
I was talking to, when I bought my iPhone, I was talking to the guy who was setting it up, and I was looking around. I'm going, you know what? He's like, what? You know what the major difference is between Micro Center and the Apple store is? The women are way hotter at the Apple store than they are at Micro Center.
You are correct.
Well, that's what you get when you sell fashion accessories instead of technology.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, when
Yeah.
you sell fashion application devices,
Fashion application devices.
that's
I
what the
like
iPhone is. It's a fashion application device, which I don't quite understand because it spends most of the time in my pocket. So how fashionable does it need to be in my pocket?
Oh, it's not interrupting the fashion you're wearing.
No, the
Oh, yeah,
fashion
my
part
fashion.
is when you're walking down the street with it to your head, people have to know that you have one.
Oh, then I'm really not doing it right because I
Only if
totally
you're yelling,
don't
well, that's
call
why
anybody
I'm
on
calling
my
for
phone.
Apple.
I totally message people way more often on my phone than I do talk
Totally
to them.
doing it wrong. I mean,
I know.
you
Yeah.
probably don't even go to the coffee bar with your new Air
Yeah.
and set it up prominently so that everybody can see what an awesome
I
laptop
don't.
you have.
I don't. I also don't have an Air,
Totally
so that'd be
doing it
kind of
wrong.
difficult.
Yeah.
I even have I have a first generation MacBook Pro. I'm so out of style. It doesn't even look like the new one.
I'm one of those few people that go to the coffee shop for coffee.
Wait,
then,
wait,
Then
what?
I leave. I don't really have a reason to stay. It's like, thanks, yeah, I'm gone.
So, Brian, all you need are just, those kind of thick glasses, those new age hipster doofus glasses, and you'll be set. And then you can be a
Right.
true Mac user.
Well, like Buddy Holly glasses.
Yes, exacly.
Those
Yeah.
big old 60 bug eyes.
There's a reason I bought the glasses I have because
That's pretty much all that's on
they'll
the
last
wall
me
now.
10 times
Yeah.
longer than any of those glasses.
It's like,
Ah.
those sunglasses are bigger than your head.
Oh, and plus that, they probably make for great wind deflectors.
They probably.
Yeah, they're like bug screens.
Yeah, they're bug-eyed bud screens.
There's no way a bug's getting past that.
Unfortunately, the
Recording
wind drag is significant.
So I think that's it for iPhone stuff. I think in the future we'll actually go back to talking about real video game systems like the Wii. Oh, wait.
Oh.
The sad part is,
Aw.
I agree with that statement.
Gotta live somewhere.
It's it's a nice device and I find it useful for many things. But the only reason I really got it was because my old phone was absolutely useless.
Mine was 5 years old too. I had a 5-year-old phone and I was 4 years off my plan and I didn't really want to buy a new laptop or anything else technologically, so I'm paying a little more, but I'm enjoying it for its uses. So
Well, I needed a new iPod. I needed a new phone.
yeah,
I
didn't even
wanted
actually
something
have
I
an
could
iPod
tether
yet,
with.
so-
I needed something I just had I had the first gen iPod Shuffle.
I had the $20
No screen
special.
for you.
What's that?
No screen for you.
Yeah, no screen for me.
I had the $20 mini LED special from Micro Center.
Yeah.
I think it was a refurb.
Yeah.
But
And
hey,
so,
and it
I mean,
takes SD cards.
It was I needed a new iPod, I needed a new phone, I wanted something that I could tether with, and I wanted something that I could surf around with without having to worry about mobile stuff, so it worked fine for me.
Yeah, it really
And I
is.
want something better because my old cell phone didn't even have T9 word completion in it, so I actually had to type every word
Ouch.
on the little thing.
That
Mine
was a
didn't-
shitty phone you
It
had.
was a shitty phone I had.
Mine was the same. It was like the last generation before that. Didn't even have a camera or anything
Why
special.
don't
No
you
camera?
just buy a phone every 2 years? Why don't you
Uh,
get the free phone after your 2 years? Was
Well,
up?
you could do that.
I didn't like any of the phones. It's kind of sad. I liked Verizon's service. I just didn't like any other phones. After the big LG flip phones, I just didn't like anything
When I-
that came out afterwards.
When I got mine, I didn't text anybody was the thing.
Right?
And so once I started texting people, the deficiencies of my particular phone became immediately apparent.
yeah,
And it didn't have a camera on it. I couldn't upload ringtones to it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just the shittiest phone you could possibly get. So
I
Mine
figure
was-
if I don't get a phone every 2 years, I'm not getting the money I can out of the phone company that's trying to rape me.
well, you probably are correct in that.
My phone rings.
Does it transmit voice over the ether?
Yes.
It is a wonder of modern
Over
technology.
And
the
it doesn't.
aether.
And it doesn't need a piece of string.
Over the aether. Aether.
I've never texted anyone. I've never found a
I hadn't either
point
until
for
I
it.
got this. But the fact that it made it so easy and it was
It's like
convenient,
I've got
yeah.
email. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, my short list of features is voice, syncs with Outlook.
Yeah.
Email's nice too.
All right. Well, is that it for the almost? We almost talked about video games this podcast.
Then we went off on cell phones.
No, we talked a lot more about video games this podcast than last podcast.
Well, yeah, we were talking about gambling strategies
Yeah.
in the last
Yeah.
podcast.
and
trending
John
upwards.
didn't declare this to be the worst podcast ever, so he must be doing okay.
This was better. Yeah.
The
Slightly
last
better than
podcast
the worst.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
John's
I
like
don't
a Rotten
think it
Tomatoes.
is, but I didn't think it was awful. But then again, I mean, I just press a button and I'm here, and then I press another button, everybody goes away. I go back to my hikikomori ways.
Normally you have to spend more money and you have to keep getting those drugs over and over again. So
Right,
this
So-
is more on the front end, a lot cheaper down the road.
right.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for Die Hard Gamer Radio. Join us again next time.
You know what's a lot cheaper than that? Fatal Overdose.
Yeah, but that's like a one-shot deal.
It's cheap though. Over time, you spend a lot less money.
There is no time.
You have to save up.
Thank you for listening to Die Hard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.